Okay, so why don't you tell us how you initially came up with the story?
Well, I guess it sort of came from two places. One, we were attempting to do a script that was based on a real life story. So Nathan had found this guy, he grew up in Newfoundland, and knew this guy who, well, didn't know him, but had heard this guy who basically cut off somebody's head in a very sadistic serial killer. It was like a satanic ritual. Pardon me, I've got a new baby. It's 2 weeks old, so I'm really tired. Anyways, so we actually contacted that guy, started to write the script, realized that his story was way more fantastic, attempted a documentary, and basically made every mistake that the filmmakers make up there. We got way too close to our subject, broke every journalistic rule. And then when we came around, we were actually going to do, like many years later, a short film, which is going to be our $100,000 calling card. And we got a guy call us up randomly saying, yeah, I want to invest your film. We realized, well, we can't make money off a short really, so we switched concepts. We knew we had Anthony, and we said, let's just do this high concept, low budget. So, does that answer the question?
Sort of. Okay, speaking of Anthony, I think he's great in film. Awesome. Where did you get him from?
I actually went to high school with Anthony, where he was like the star of the high school. He's a strange and enigmatic guy, and at the time we were doing our short film, we were actually looking at like Jason Priestley and Donnie Wahlberg and some other people like that. And we actually ran into Anthony at a friend of ours' wedding, and just said, "Wow, he's great. He's perfect for this. He's natural." We shot some tests, and he was amazing. And basically wrote the film for him. I can't be happier with what he did. He was amazing.
While watching the movie, I was trying to think of the various landmarks. Certainly, my friend Jason recognized the Danforth. Where was the restaurant located?
The restaurant
looks like my neck of the woods.
That's the old spot east.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of it shot on the Danforth, and we were trying to.
We didn't get any funding from the government, so we were just kind of pissed off at Canadian filmmaking at that point. That's why there's no shots of the CN Tower and stuff like that. But at one point we were basically saying, let's make a movie that would never ever get funded by the government and see if we can shoot it. So I think we succeeded.
You shot most of this girl.
Almost all of it. We actually had our permits and we had insurance and all that sort of stuff. We even hired cops. But we made little mistakes. Like for our SWAT scene, we hired our cops, our off-duty cops for that, but we neglected to tell the local cops that there's an old age home about 20 yards down the road from that restaurant. And needless to say, our guys who were playing our extras were just friends of ours, waving around these M5s with the full masks and everything. So a report basically said that an old lady jumped into the bushes. Cops showed up, and basically our other cops talked us out of being shut down. So definitely, it's worth it to pay the $40 an hour or $70 an hour, or whatever it is, for the off-duty cops.
Okay, and let's talk about the fantastic gore sequences. Those dissection scenes are brilliant. What can you tell us about those?
That's all Chris Bridges. I'm wearing his shirt actually, Gaslight Studios, and he is the nicest and the most talented guy that you'll meet in this industry. He, what can I say? We sort of told the story in the article recently where we had somebody else who I think it was just a little bit above his league deliver what I described as like a baked ham the first time. With his body that was totally unusable, and I was thinking, can I shoot this silhouette? Chris Bridges really just took pity on us. And when he showed up with that body and I looked at the feet, which he had painted the dirt in between the toes and everything like that, it just blew me away. So really, it was him building these wonderful sculptures and then us spending 10 hours ripping it to pieces and him hiding behind the thing. I can't say enough about basically how he saved the film. He's a genius. I love him. And odds on favor of our friends to win an Oscar for sure. The guy's he just finished working with M. Night Shyamalan. He's working on The Thing right now. He worked on 300. The guy's awesome.
Very good. Do we have any questions from the crowd? You, sir.
It's kind of a dumb question. The owner of the restaurant, is that the Lilydale chicken guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's him.
I thought I recognized him.
He's great. He's actually he's a former waiter as well that used to work with Nathan, and just the best guy in the world to work with. I could have shot. I've gotten some actually angry letters from people who are French saying, "What's with you and the French? Why do you hate the French?" But it's just his accent, and yeah, he is the Lilydale guy. He's awesome.
Actually, I think the whole film was well cast. Like, where did you find the actors?
That was a long, hard process. I mean, it was non-union, but we were basically down in a basement for 3 or 4 months at a time. We do a casting session, we get maybe 20% of people. We just kept doing it and doing it and doing it, but there's no other way around it when you're doing it non-union. You just have to go and see everybody, and if you don't get people, don't settle. You just gotta keep going for it. But we were really lucky. Like even the guy who played the doctor is on Chuck now. He plays Lester. We lucked out with our cast. What can I say? And Elisa Mulicheri, actually, who runs a theater now, did all of our casting, so we were able to basically lean on her contacts.
Yeah, sure. Anybody else have a question? You, sir.
I'll make it really brief. Of course, just choose one. Now magazine, I haven't read the article, but it suggests that you put together what, after you get through the first few minutes, is a fantastic film in my view, but you have real problems with any kind of wide distribution. The other one was, it was very interesting, but you were tired when you started out. You were talking about the filmmaking process and the original guy and whatnot. You didn't really make that clear, but it sounded really interesting. So,
The original special effects guy?
no, you were talking about how you found this guy in Newfoundland.
Oh.
And it just didn't all connect. But those are two important questions to me. You could answer either.
Well, again, the guy out in Newfoundland it's not directly based on him per se. He's a totally different character. That was more us looking at our follies and our mistakes as filmmakers as fodder for this film. And the problem that we had when we started that documentary really was that we were talking about stuff that had happened 10 years ago, and it was really frustrating for us. So we were thinking, what would be great is if it was happening right there, and the documentarians were there. Distribution, yeah, it's been hell. The first thing most people ask is who's in it, when you're talking to big guys. We've had, we were talking to some people at Alliance Atlantis who were like, I'm going to champion the film, and, it gets up to a certain level or echelon, and, it gets shown in some boardroom where it's just like, no, there's not enough upside and all kinds of downside for anybody
But
who's
the
a real.
Blair Witch Project can do it. Is it because we're in Canada and not the States? Like, can you take it to the States where someone's more venturesome, perhaps?
Well, I have to say, in the States, it's way, we've gotten, a better reaction, or it's not as disturbing for some reason to people in the States. You know what I mean? Like, they're talking about putting it on television down there, and I never thought that would happen. I mean, they're talking about Walmart.
It's a wonderful film.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Well, we hope that. It's how many movies are shot for under 100,000? There's tons and tons and tons. So just for distributors trying to wade through the amount of garbage out there, I'm sure you see a lot of.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's out there making a movie, and I think the one thing that we really wanted to go for, because we came from sort of a I'm a storyboard artist. I really come from kind of a Kubrickian background where I like everything to be very graphic and whatnot. This was a step back to say, let's throw all that out the window and really focus on getting good performances first and foremost. And I'm so proud of our actors. I think we knocked that one out. But distributions, it's tough. A lot of people say, can you change the title? Just anything to help them out. But we'll see. It's getting better now.
Yeah. You do have the DVD release coming.
June 8th.
June 8th.
And it'll be in the Rogers and the Blockbusters and HMVs and the Sunrises, and it's on Amazon and all that sort of stuff. So that's, the fact that people have at least a chance to see it is more than we would have thought 2 years ago.